Hello. I'm cleaning up a little bit because things here are a little taste of crazy. So anyway, just gonna hang out a little bit, see if anybody pops on, because this is kind of an unannounced, this is definitely an unannounced live. I wasn't sure when I was gonna go live with this unboxing, and so I didn't want to schedule it for so many reasons, because it's just crazy town. Hello. Hi. So glad you're here. You'll have to let me know if that music in the background is annoying. That light is annoying. I'll tell you what's what. I'm gonna turn that down a little. So yeah, I have some really fun stuff to share. Hey friends. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I don't know what ends up this week. Really don't. Hello. Yeah, so the brushes are here. That's loud. I gotta turn it down. Whew. Okay. Gosh. Hey. Yeah, friends, the brushes are here for the love. They have been sitting in their boxes. And I don't know if any of you were live when I got the samples and I was too afraid to open the samples. I had like, I don't know, like excitement anxiety or something. Oh, you've been on vacation, you missed me. I was on vacation last week, so I was kind of MIA. But the brushes arrived, they've been sitting. I have not opened the boxes. So my goal was to do this live this week, and I'm cleaning while we're chatting and hanging while people pop on. But yeah, I'm like, gosh, I really want to open these live somewhere. And it's just been crazy. So I'm super excited to be here. I have them right over there. So if you're new here, let me just explain a little bit. So you're like, wait, what brushes? What are you talking about? So I have designed a set of watercolor brushes that, you know what? Let me back up. Now, I promise I'm not going to wax poetic about this for a while, but I feel like it's a good day. It's a good time. It's a good moment to tell a little bit more of this story. Some of you may not have heard the story. So at the end of 2017, somehow I got connected with a art supply manufacturer, and they were like, hey, we love your vibe. We love your, whatever. They found me through the wedding brand that I own, and they wanted to do a wedding, like invitation, paint your own kind of collection, which I actually thought was a really cool idea. And so, we got to talking, and we met online and just like brainstormed. And what happened very quickly is it went from being a wedding collection, they were talking, and this was for like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, those kind of places. And this company had been manufacturing supplies, art supplies, craft supplies for Michael's, Hobby Lobby, etc. for like decades, right? This is a legit company. And so very quickly, like Michael's during one of their meetings said, hey, like we are looking for like artist represented and designed supply collections, like art supplies with the artist's face and name and all that. They were looking for that. Hey. And so quickly we went from like the whole wedding thing to let's design a line of art supplies. Christy Rice, Art for Joy's Sake art supplies. So long story short, we did that. We spent like a hot 6 weeks designing like this like 50 SKU collection, all this cool stuff. This was one of them. This is one of the pieces we designed. My artwork, palette. I mean, there was cool stuff. We had the dagger brush. Like that was the first thing I wanted to design with them. They ordered samples from China, my name on stuff. I mean, it was like legit. We actually designed this. This was one of my products. It's an art for joystick ruler. Really cute. I wish it had cork on the back. Maybe I need to design one. So like it was legit. Went to Michael's was excited. They heard about me. They were talking to them about me. We went for a meeting in Texas where they're located and central. Did a whole presentation. Like I felt like I was on a reality show, right? Did a whole presentation. And they loved the collection. There were 2 buyers there, like a senior buyer and someone below the senior buyer. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. I was me. I was just like, felt like I was on, like it was happening, right? They were going to buy this collection. Left that meeting and they were like, okay, let's talk price. Let's get the next steps rolling. A couple weeks later, I was flown back out. They took me into the test store and we set up like a practice end cap. So you know what an end cap is in a store, right? Hey friends, if you're just joining, I am unboxing my brushes tonight, but I thought it would be a good time to tell you the story of how I got here and why I'm here and why this is so freaking exciting. So we got to the point with Michael's, my 50 some SKU collection. It was going to be an end cap in all stores nationwide. And it was going to be for, I think it was meant to be for spring of 2018 or summer of 2018. And so we set up the fake end cap, like artwork above, backdrop with like blue watercolor. It was so gorgeous. It was really pretty. Set that up, figured things out, added products, took products away. Then they went to the drawing board with pricing. Like this was happening. So like over $1 million sale. Now I wasn't going to get all that money, but like it was, you know, like first year of college for my 2 kids kind of a situation. If you know what I'm saying. Okay. So, they were like, okay, we just need like a month or 2. We've just got to like crunch the numbers, make sure that everything's okay. We'll send you contracts. Third quarter earnings came out that year. And, that's when brick and mortar was tanking across the board. Like people are just shopping online. Arts and crafts was one of the last things that consumers let go of in terms of shopping in store. For a long time, people still wanted to buy their arts and crafts supplies in person, in store. Well, that kind of shifted. And so when that all tanked, they stopped buying riskier, what they deemed as risky. My little collection went from the hot new thing to not happening in a matter of a few weeks. And so it was devastating because I was like so excited and I was like, gosh, this is happening. This is so cool, right? And so it kind of took the wind out of my sails. And then at that point, no one was buying like that. Hobby Lobby, nope. Joann's considered it for a while. We got far with Joann's. They went in another direction. Like it was just, I guess there was a reason it was not meant to be. And so for, that was 2018. And for a while I was like, oh, I was completely, the wind was taken out of my sails. It was heartbreaking. And I felt like I had done something wrong. Like I wasn't cool enough. I wasn't skinny enough. I wasn't, young enough. I mean, I went through all the emotions. Like, what did I do wrong that they just didn't believe in me? And when the reality of it was, it took me like 2 years to figure this out. The reality of it is they were just scared. And big corporations scare easily and they move slowly. I've learned this. People like me that are smaller, we're more agile. We move quicker. We can make big decisions fast. It's crazy. I've learned so much in the last few years. But it's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, hey, Camden. What the? I didn't know you were on TikTok. Yes, right? Yes. And so I started learning about Amazon, and I want to talk, I want to talk to you about Amazon. And I feel you're like, just open the brushes, girl. I'm getting there, I promise. But this is so important for you to hear, because even just a year ago, I was like, Amazon, taking away small business, right? That's how I felt. And I mean, I used that in my marketing. Like even Christmas of 2020, I was like, shop small, shop small. So what I learned is that over half of what is sold on Amazon, maybe Camden has the exact percentage, but over half of what is sold on Amazon is developed, manufactured, and sold by people like me, the small guys. Yeah, I had no idea. What does that say? Small is on AMA? I don't know what that means. Around 60%. Okay. So, Camden, friends, follow Camden. She's awesome. She is a fellow artist and entrepreneur like me on a similar-ish path. So almost 60% of the products on Amazon are designed like what I'm doing. Design something, bring it to life, take it to Amazon, use Amazon as kind of the tool to get it into the world. Yes. Okay. So many small businesses sell on Amazon. Yes. And I didn't know this. I really didn't. And so somehow I stumbled upon this idea of Amazon FBA, which is how many small businesses sell on Amazon. And I leapt into it. Now, up until that point, I had already been designing stuff overseas. And this was one of my very first samples of the dagger brush. And last fall, like when I really didn't have the money, pandemic, wedding business, really didn't have the money to be spending on like inventory, but I was like, whatever. I leapt into it and I designed the Art for Joy's Sake dagger, which I've been selling on my own site since like late fall of last year. It's already sold out once and we are ripping through our second order. So that's awesome, right? So I'm like, okay, I want to make a set. And a lot of you know I have the palette, which I actually designed first. Where the heck is the one with the actual paint in it? So I was designing this. This was the first thing I designed and what I thought I was going to go with first. But I changed my mind and went with the brush set based on data and based on some numbers. It was a little bit more of a sure thing than a palette. Palette was really competitive. So I wanted to get my feet wet with this brush. But anyway, all that to say, I don't want to get too technical with you and we need to open these boxes. But this brush set is like, and they say not to get emotionally attached to the products you design for Amazon. Whoops. Yeah, too late for that. I'm definitely emotionally attached. I think in general, I'm just emotionally attached to art supplies. So it is what it is. Watercolor brushes is definitely more competitive. It's not as competitive as like cell phone cases, but it's more competitive. So I've got my work cut out for me. But I have you all, and you all seem to be really excited about this brush set. So anyway, they're here. I'm checking them. This is my first order that I'll be sending to Amazon to distribute. So I've got them coming here. I'm checking them over. I have to add a suffocation sticker because I didn't realize I needed one for such a small bag. And then they'll get sent off to Amazon, and Amazon will like send them out to all different places. Yeah. And I'm still working on behind the scenes, my listing, my photos, all the things. But all that considered, I'm thinking they're going to be live and for sale and available for you to purchase sometime after the mid-August. But that is a guess. So anyway, small business owners are always attracted and in love with their products. Yes. And so it's hard when you start learning and training for Amazon, you're kind of told like to temper that. So that's a hard, that's a little bit of a shift mentally. So yeah, I'm excited too. Okay. So, I'm going to go grab a box. So I had 300 shipped by DHL, which is fast because I wanted to get them here and get them on their way. And then I had the other 700 sets shipped by boat, which will take like probably another month to get here. So, all right, I'm gonna go grab a box. Okay, bear with me. Oh my gosh, okay. Ha! Wow, this thing is taped up. Where do I, okay. I hope I'm not cutting into something. I feel like this is the bottom, but gosh. Don't stab yourself in the face, Christy Rice. Everything I've ever had shipped from overseas, man, they do not mess around with packing, ever. Okay, I am totally breaking all of the safety, scissor safety rules here. Okay. Boom. They are packed in there like sardines. Look at all those little buggers. Okay. Let me just grab like a handful. I can't read. You're so excited. Okay. Yay! Yay! Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Look at how, I just love, they're actually kind of like slim and tiny, and that was, you know, by design, because you pay fees to Amazon. The bigger your product is, the more fees you pay. Okay, I'm gonna pull out a couple. So this is exactly how they'll come to you. I'm praying that Amazon sends them at minimum in those bubble envelope mailers. You know, the ones I'm talking about, like you rip at the top, they're blue and white. I pray to God in heaven that they don't send them in those like just plastic mailers that have like no padding, but we don't have any control over how Amazon sends these. And it also depends, I think, on what else you buy and which warehouse and all that. You know how sometimes, okay, you know how sometimes you get something from Amazon and it's like in this stupidly large box? Yeah. Yeah. Crazy stuff Amazon does. Okay, so here she is. I'll pull out a couple. This is so cool. Well, they look good. They traveled well. Can you believe I have to put a suffocation sticker on this thing? My manufacturer told me I didn't have to, but I don't know. Okay, so here is my UPC. Thank you, Camden. Okay, let me look at comments. So excited, yay, so pretty. Can't wait to get a set, fellow artist. Hey. Okay. So, all right, let's just open one up. Now, I actually, oh my gosh, why is my daughter still awake? This is what happens when I put my husband in charge for like a hot minute. Baby is still up. It's like, what, 11:15? Anyway, I digress. So it's like the little sticky opening thing, right? Okay, so canvas zipper. I really wanted this zipper to be rose gold, but the manufacturer that we worked with for the bag didn't have rose gold zippers in stock, and I would have had to order a much larger minimum, so they're gold. But it's lovely canvas. This is like the real deal. This isn't like that, you know, that like horrible, like papery fabric that when you order stuff and it says it's fabric, but you get it and you're like, this is that weirdo fabric. No, this is legit canvas. That was important. Yeah. So this is one of my mantras. Forget rules, forget right, remember joy. And friends, this is my handwriting. I know like cursive is like chuggy or whatever. I don't care. Like, figure it out. So, and of course my Poppies artwork. So secret about this artwork, and I chose this for a reason. When I signed on with that other company, and there are no hard feelings between myself and this company, like we gave it our all. When they first met me and they like saw my personality, they had me come out to Creativation, which is like, I don't know if you're familiar. It's like a arts and crafts like convention. and they had me sit in their booth for a few days and demo. And so one night I went home from Creativation in my hotel, and they had just given me this palette, and I was so excited about it. So I went back to the room and I painted these poppies. And they have been a favorite ever since, but they also hold a lot of meaning. Like, these poppies were supposed to be on the first collection, but it's okay. They're on this one now. All right, so when you open it up, there's a little card. Now, y'all saw, I had samples prior to this, but there have been some changes since the sample. This card is smaller. When they designed the sample, they thought I was doing 7 brushes, which I never was. I don't know why. So the card's a little smaller, which I actually like, because the first sample, did I just change the, gosh, okay, yeah. The first sample, the card was a little, it was too big. It was hard to get in and out, like it didn't come out nicely. So it says, what the heck does it say? You get to paint with these. Aren't you excited? That's what that little thing says there. And then it's the Art for Joy's Sake brush collection on the side here. And then on the back is really important actually. Beyond the fact that you see me and a letter from me, but there's gonna be this QR code. And yes, I'm putting my finger over it because you have to wait. Sorry, that was sassy. So with your purchase of the brush, you're gonna get access to an exclusive tutorial. It's gonna be unlisted on YouTube. When you scan this, it's gonna take you there. And so it's pretty exciting because it's not going to be public on YouTube. So the only way for you to get access to this tutorial is when you buy the brushes. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. And of course, there's that poppy artwork again, and there's my new logo, which so many of you helped with and gave input into. Okay, let's take a look at the brushes. So we have the Unshakable Joy brush, and of course, the rose gold. The sample that I've been painting with for the last like 2 months was silver, but I told you it's gonna be rose gold. I am such I'm like obsessed with rose gold. Maybe it's out of style. I don't know. I don't think it is. Not yet. Maybe it's chuggy. Is it chuggy? Tell me. Unshakable Joy, and this is your 3/4 inch flat wash brush. This was a late edition. And originally it was just this stuff. But then I was like, gosh, we need a wash brush. There's such fun things you can do with the wash brush. So there's that. And they slide out. They come, it's like little rubber bands, little like thread covered rubber bands. They slide out. You can always keep sliding them back in. You can use this as, you know, a holder. This brush I'm probably most excited about. This is the 1/2 inch dagger, also known as the Forget Rules brush. 1/2 inch dagger. You know I've been painting with this one. You see it a lot here. And then of course the Queen Bee, I had to include, so even if you already have, I know many of you have the 1/4 inch dagger. It's okay. Have 2. You can never have too many. Put one in your car, put one somewhere else, or gift it. So this is your 1/4 inch dagger, the Art for Joy's Sake brush, of course. The cat's tongue. Oh my gosh. This is the Watercolor Curious brush. Yay, thank you. You look so pretty, you did an amazing job, thank you. Yeah, rose gold, it's very in now, right? It's been in for a while, but I think it's here to stay. The cat's tongue. So basically, I describe, it's like the quirky, like twin sister of the dagger brush, like fraternal twin. So it's basically like a dagger that the point is in the middle instead of off to one side. It's really cool. Then we have the Happy Painting brush, which is a number 2 round. And the cat's tongue, the round, and this last brush all have the little protector on it. The others don't, because it's just not industry standard to put that kind of protector on these flat brushes. And then last but not least, we have the Remember Joy number 1 liner brush. I love this brush. I love them all. They're like my children. I love them all. But that's what we got, friends. I'm gonna take so you take these little doos off. One piece of advice, in my opinion, this is how I was taught, never put these back on. I see a lot of people do that because if you don't have perfect precision when you're putting them back on, what you're doing is catching some of the hairs and you're choking them and shoving them down and you're screwing up your hairs. So don't put those back on. They're not meant to be put back on. They're just meant for transit, in my opinion. Thank you. Okay, so the brush set is going to be $32 on Amazon, and it's going to be Prime eligible, so no shipping, of course. And it's all going to be managed by Amazon. So, you know, easy returns. Now, I mean, why would you return these? Really? Kidding. But no, really. Yeah, I've been nervous about the price point, but I've done a lot of research. And, you know, the competitors, gosh, I hate that term, but other people that are kind of targeting the same keywords and stuff that I will be, I'm definitely at the top of the pricing tree. There's like one or two others that are the same or like $1 more than me, but the majority of brushes on Amazon, when you search watercolor brushes, are like 15 and under. But it's going, I pray that it's going to be very obvious why these are the price that they are, because a lot of the brushes on Amazon are just like 10 round brushes, different sizes, or you know, they're just very repetitive, much lower quality. These are talcum brushes. They are synthetic, but is very high quality synthetic material. I actually prefer synthetic. I don't like synthetic natural bristle blends. I like synthetic. I like the way they bounce, the way they handle, the way they hold water. I like their resiliency. They bounce back into shape. You don't have to reshape them. I just spent $100 on a great hand lettering pen, so 32 is great. Awesome. Good. You're making me feel better about myself, friends. Thank you. So that's going to be the price point. Plus, you get the free tutorial. So that's my prayer, that it feels like it's a good value. There is no pre-ordering on FBA, so products that are designed by, FBA is fulfilled by Amazon, and that's what I'm doing. Pre-orders, they have pre-orders for books and stuff, and I think that's because Amazon purchases the books and sells them. But not for me, not the way I'm doing it. So the best thing you can do, I feel like I've talked about it so much, you must be sick of me, but my dear friend sent me, Hazel, she sent me this book called Brag Better. It's sitting right in front of me. And I'm so grateful to her because she's like, you need to learn how to brag better. So I have to remember the best way for you to know the moment we are going to launch is to sign up for my email list. And so you can do that in the bio, the link here in bio, or just go to artforjoysake.com. Sign up for the email list, because I'm going to roll out the announcement to the email list first. And literally, you might have 12 hours notice. You maybe will have a day's notice, but it's just the nature of Amazon. I am not going to know the exact day or time. So the tutorial you're going to have access to when the brushes come to you. You're going to have this card, and see there's a little QR code there. You're going to scan that code, and that's how you'll access the tutorial. So it's actually super simple. Yeah, the tutorial I think is a huge win, because it's not something that everybody's going to have access to. It's just not. It's going to be unlisted on YouTube, and the only way you can access it is through that QR code. So, yeah. Join the email list. I actually don't send out a lot. This happens to be a really crazy time. There is a lot going on right now. So I've sent more emails out to my email list in the last 3 weeks than I have probably in the last year and a half total. May we see your desk? It seems like very tall, very close to your face. Yeah, so I'm like short. I also am a low sitter. So it's a pretty standard height table, but I don't know. I really like to sit low. People make fun of me. They think I'm ridiculous, but I will show you. So sign up for the email list. I just sent out a schedule because next week, because, you know, like there wasn't enough going on. Where the heck is my book? Where'd it go? I don't know. Anyway, my book is coming out. It's starting to ship on Tuesday of next week, the 27th. Many of you have told me you've already received your shipping notifications. So yay, that's awesome. So as if there wasn't enough going on. So I sent out the schedule for all of the lives that I'm going to do next Tuesday. So I'm going to be live here at 9 p.m. Let me see if I can remember this off the top of my head. I'm going live here at 9 p.m. You can see the schedule. There's a link, video, the whole nine. And then I think I go live at 4 p.m. on Instagram. Christy the Painter there as well. 2 p.m. is Facebook, my Art for Joy's Sake group on Facebook. And then noon, I'm live streaming on YouTube. How do I find the book of drawings that I can watercolor? Yeah, so I think you're talking about these. I just have two of them here. Paint Chilly Days, and then there's the Art for Joy's Sake journal. These are on Amazon. If you just search my name on Amazon, they'll come up. They usually all come up pretty reliably. So this is the Art for Joy's Sake journal. This was book number 9. So this was my last book. And then Paint Chilly Days, there's Flowers, Woodland, and Pattern. I think Flowers might be out of stock. It's in a reprint. And then there's Christie's Cutting Garden. That's a series of 4. Fall, winter, spring, and summer. So just find those on Amazon. You can purchase all of my books on ChristyRice.com, except my new book. I made a decision to not offer that on ChristyRice.com quite yet. I've been just pushing all the sales to Amazon for that one. So, all right. Yeah, you know what? Let me untether here and I'll show you my desk. Oh, sorry, friends. Hey. Let me flip around. Okay, it's messy. Okay, here we go. It's really messy. So it is, there's little cart number 1. These are all of like my fancy palettes. These are my budget palettes, and that's just overflow down there. Here is the crazy tangle of lights and all the stupid things I use to try to get good lighting that are never quite right. I use this. I always paint on a Strathmore white until it gets so gross that I can't handle it anymore, and I flip the page. And there's my painter's pot. Clearly need to change the water. And just all the things. All the things. This is the receipt. There's the other 2 boxes of brushes. And this is my little, I work at home now. I still have a studio, but my team, part of my team works there. But I decided to stay home because I like it. I like it a lot. Here is the boring part of my space. And my big plant. And this is my fun wall. I'm having fun like finding cute little shelves and stuff to hang on my wall and store all my supplies, because I'm trying to find stuff that is a little more inspiring for me than Tupperware. Not that there's anything wrong with Tupperware, but I've been like finding this vintage stuff to store all my stuff. And cart number 2. And yes, that is my Bob Ross wig. Yep, my son likes to play with it, so I keep it out. But that's it. It's a small space, but I'll tell you what, it's all mine out here, and I love it. I really love this space. All right, I'm gonna hook back up. Bear with me. And then I'm gonna flip back around. Oh, hello. Okay, anyway. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh my God. What's happening? Why? There we go. Sorry, all those filters. Anyway. So, definitely plan to join those lives. And here's why. So, of course, I'm going to be doing giveaways. At each live, I'm going to be painting from the book, but I'm going to be painting from a different chapter at each live. So, definitely reason to try to catch each live. Now, each of them is going to be saved so you can watch the replay, right? So like on Instagram, I'm going to save it as an IGTV so you can watch the replay and whatever. But you can only be eligible to win if you're live. So try to figure out the noon, the 2, the 4, or the 9 p.m. Eastern, which one you can be live at. Or if you can be live at more than one, you're going to get that many more chances to win. And here's the thing, because I know many of you pre-ordered the book. So yay, you're going to win maybe a second book. But I'm also, going against the advice of some of my mentors that have been working on FBA on Amazon. I'm going to be giving away brush sets. So, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm excited about the book, but I know so many of you pre-ordered because you could. You can't pre-order these. Yes. The lives. Okay, so it's next Tuesday, the 27th. That's the day the book starts shipping from Amazon. And so 12 noon, I'm going to be on my YouTube channel. These are all Eastern time. So 12 noon on YouTube. 2 p.m. on Facebook, Art for Joy's Sake with Christy Rice on Facebook. 4 p.m. is Instagram. I believe I have that right. And then 9 p.m. here on TikTok. Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to be painting. We're going to do like paint-alongs from the different chapters in the book. So it's going to be really cool, I think. Yeah. Anyway, do y'all have any questions? Thanks for popping on. A lot of you were here tonight. That was fun. I didn't announce this one. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And I don't care if it's about the brushes, anything. I don't mind answering any questions. All right, let me, okay, that, you know what? It's so funny. Okay, this is what happens. Like, look how much bigger this bag is. I guess it's just the name of the game. Anyway, whatever. Oh, my team. Okay. Yeah, so I have another business. It's called Momental Designs, and we design very custom wedding stationery, bespoke. So my team started to serve that business. And then back in when did I start? I started this more just watercolor focused brand. I think it was like 2013, something like that. And so my wedding team now overlaps and helps me with all of the, paint crush, Christy Rice stuff. And so I have a communications manager. Her name's Kelly. I did not paint. I unboxed my shipment of the brush sets. So I did not paint tonight. So I have Kelly, a communications manager. She handles all of emails, and she does proofs, and she manages our Pinterest accounts and all that kind of fun stuff. I have a studio, a production manager. So just that. She manages production, preps all the orders, and manages our team. And then I have 2 invitation artists, and they're production, not just, but they're production artists. So they are highly skilled in actually executing the invitation orders. I have a full-time graphic designer. Her name's Katie. And my invitation artists are Kristen and Emily. And then I have a full-time artist who's kind of like my right hand. Her name is Jill. And she designs all of our samples. So she is very front-facing with all of our couples and figuring out what they love and what they want, and then executes it for them. And I have a virtual assistant. Her name's Allison. I love her. She takes a lot of my TikToks and turns them into YouTube shorts. She she helps me with all sorts of things. And then last but not least, I have a video editor that I hired recently, part-time, because I'm really bad at editing videos, but I make a lot of videos. I can do the short stuff, like the stuff for TikTok, but my YouTube videos and other things, I needed someone to help me with that. So that's my team. And they're amazing. And my core team, everyone except for the VA and the editor, have been with me now for like most of them almost a decade. Some of them over a decade. So we're like family. Yeah. Yeah. So great question. That was fun. That was fun. Have any of y'all been catching my World Watercolor Month series over on Instagram? Yeah, that's a fun one. If you haven't, check it out on Instagram, because every day for the month of July, I've been posting exclusive content on Instagram. Now, once I post it there, I've been bringing some of it over here. I've only done like 4 or 5. But it's like really fun stuff where I paint and I talk and I give like inspirational advice. I mean, some people think it's inspirational. How much were your brush set cost? Should we buy them on Amazon or directly through your site? They're only going to be available on Amazon, so you don't have a choice at this point. And yay, I'm glad you're checking it out. And they're gonna the set is gonna be 32. So it's the 6 brushes, the canvas bag, and exclusive access to an unlisted YouTube tutorial that you'll get access to when you purchase the brushes. Yeah, great questions. How did you learn how to paint? What's your favorite technique? Okay, these are good questions. So I started drawing when I was about 6. I watched Bob Ross on like, what's that called? Public TV, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I watched Bob Ross, I watched some calligraphy person, and I just was fascinated. And as I grew older, I started to, my parents thought I was tracing comic strips. Garfield was my favorite, but my parents quickly found out that I didn't know what tracing was, and I wasn't tracing, I was drawing, copying visually what I was seeing. So I started out illustrating, not painting. And I just loved everything, arts and crafts, painting, sketching, all of it. And I just kind of plowed through since I was 6 and tried all the things. When I was about 11, my parents were like, okay, you know, maybe we need to like foster this even more. And they sent me for art lessons with a local woman. Her name is Sue Hand. And I'll never forget the first thing that I sketched. So the way that Sue taught, she would have you come in and she would just kind of ask you a couple questions, like, what have you drawn? Have you painted before? And she would have you choose a figurine. She had this big shelf, like floor to ceiling shelves full of knickknacks. So anything like animals and Mickey Mouse characters, like just real tchotchke stuff, right? And she'd be like, go pick your favorite figurine. And she would sit you down and she gave you like 3 pencils, like a 6B, an HB, and a 2H, I remember. And a little Staedtler eraser, those white Staedtler eraser. So, you know, I'm like 11 years old with these like fancy supplies. I thought I was so cool. And I chose this big, like concrete, it was about this big, like concrete bunny. And like the hairs of the bunny were like carved out of the concrete, or I don't know if they were poured like a mask. Yes, thank you. And she's like, okay, now I want you to look at this bunny. I don't want you to draw what you think a bunny looks like. I remember her saying this, and I instantly knew what she meant. Like, because when I thought of a bunny, I was like, oh, like Bugs Bunny, right? But here sitting in front of me was this realistic, like, rabbit figurine with this beautiful hair all over that was carved out of concrete or whatever it was. And she's like, I want you to draw what you see, not what you think this bunny looks like. And that's all she said to me. 11 years old. And she's like, showed me the different pencils. She's like, some of these pencils are softer, so they're going to create more, you know, darker marks. and you can shade with them. And she showed me just like 30 seconds what shading meant. And then she just let me go. And she would come back and look at what I was doing. And I remember sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm drawing this figurine and it looks like this figurine. And it was like very strange. I didn't know what was happening. And that was it. The rest is history. I took lessons from her for a very long time until I was through high school. And then I came back in college and taught. And by that time I had tried all the things, but fell in love with watercolor. My teacher was a watercolor artist. She still is. She paints prolifically still. And I'm still in touch with her. And yeah, so that's how I learned. I did go to college for art education, and I had kind of a minor in painting. And yeah, my favorite technique, I'm definitely, I guess what you would call like a modern watercolorist. I'm not a super realist, but I'm also not like super impressionist either. I love lots of detail and lots of layers. Yay. Thanks so much, friends. I know it's getting late. Gosh, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm gonna tuck these back in here. I got my work cut out for me. Holy moly. It's gonna be a crazy few days. Whew, and this weekend, you're welcome. So our July 4th, our big July 4th party that my family got postponed because we got rained out on actual July 4th, well 3rd. So it's this weekend of all weekends. So yeah, not going to be working a lot this weekend like I should be. Anywho. Well, I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm happy to answer. But don't forget to sign up for the email list. I promise you it's not an annoying one. I do not send emails every day. I do not send emails often asking you to buy things. I just don't. It's not my style. So sign up so you're in the know. As a matter of fact, I'll give you an example of why it's a good idea to sign up. I don't know if you guys saw my TikTok, but I am offering, if you've pre-ordered the book already or you plan to before next Tuesday, take a screenshot of your purchase, email it to hello@christyrice.com, and that's going to sign you up for a free Zoom watercolor class with me at the end of August. I rolled that announcement out to our email list a week before I rolled it out to everyone else. And that's just my way of saying thank you for trusting me with your email address. And so those folks got to get like the first seats and guarantee their seats. So there are situations like that where I do roll out the information to the email list first. And the same thing with announcing when these brushes go live. There will only be 300 sets circulating when I do first launch. I actually pray that we don't sell out too quickly, because I don't want to go out of stock before I have 700 more sets coming. And it's like not a good thing actually to go out of stock on Amazon, because you lose a lot of traction with the algorithm. But, oh, okay. I'll say it again. I did post a TikTok about it, and I did talk about it in my last live. But if you've pre-ordered your book already on Amazon, my book that's coming out on Tuesday, or you plan to or can plan to pre-order before the 27th, which is next Tuesday, take a screenshot of your order, send it to hello@christyrice.com, and you will be signed up for an exclusive Zoom watercolor class with me. There were originally only 75 spots available, and over half of them are gone. So if you want to free watercolor class Zoom with me, you'll be able to talk to me, ask me questions. I'll be painting and teaching, and I'll see your face. You'll see mine. It's awesome. And it normally costs money, hundreds of dollars. So it'll be free because you pre-ordered a book. Yeah. My book is called How to Make Art for Joy's Sake. There's my book. Good heavens. This is my newest book, the one that's coming out on Tuesday, How to Make Art for Joy's Sake, Free-Spirited Watercolor. Hardcover, foil, and ring bound inside. Oh yeah. And so it's over 300 pages, and it takes you through an art making kind of a watercolor journey. If you've never tried watercolor before, you can start at the beginning. Here's all the content, all the content. I did a flip through. There's a flip through that you could watch on my Facebook page. Head to the link in profile here. I did do a flip through a couple times. I did one on Instagram. I did a couple places. I did one here too. But I don't think I've posted that one to YouTube yet. But this is the book. I know. I feel like it's like an embarrassment of riches. You're like, wait, are you launching brushes or a book? Yeah, both. I did not plan this. This book was supposed to be out at the end of June, but it was delayed because of COVID and all the things overseas. So I didn't plan for this all to align like it did. And yes, I do paint with Crayolas at times in the book. So don't think it's just all fancy, expensive paints that you have to work with. I tell you how to paint leaves. And the one thing I love about this book, since we're here, let's just talk about it. Yeah. Oh, well, you've been wanting to do watercolors? Hi. So the way that I wrote this book, it was really important to me because I wanted you to feel like when you're reading through it, I wanted you to feel like I was sitting next to you kind of chattering in your ear, right? I didn't want there to be this disconnect. I didn't want the writing to feel like it wasn't a conversation. So literally what I did is I used, I had my phone. I had two phones. I had my photography phone above me with a remote trigger. It's crazy. And then I had another phone that I downloaded this app called Dragon Dictate. And as I painted, I would just paint. Like I paint live here on YouTube. I would just paint. As I did that, I would talk. I would teach you, talk through the teaching just like I do on YouTube and here. And this app was picking up my voice. And then I would snap pictures as I went. Snap, 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 snap. Because I needed all these kind of pictures, right? Process pictures. And so then I went back to the text and edited it. But the end result is text in this book that really sounds like you're having a chat with me and I'm teaching you and I'm sitting right beside you and I'm just teaching you in a very natural voice. And so I'm very proud of that. It is important to me. But anyway, I didn't plan to talk about the book tonight, but pre-order and you'll get a free class with me. So if you are just starting watercolor, for the love, this is a good opportunity because you'll get the book that takes you from beginner to, beyond beginner, and then you're going to have a free class with me. So I think it'll be good for you. Yeah, that's so cool. I'm glad you think it's cool. Yeah, so we do patterns. I teach you how to just do fun, relaxing patterns. What's one? This one. Oh my gosh, yeah. These are all projects. So this is like a leaf pattern project. Teach you how to paint a leaf pattern, which is, I have a leaf pattern tutorial on YouTube. It is by far the most popular tutorial I've ever done. Ever. Take a walk pattern. I show you how to go outside and find cool stuff and then turn it into art. I teach you how to, this is a big project. It's intense, but fun. I have you take your favorite textile or pattern and turn it into a watercolor artwork piece. This is all the more like advanced stuff at the end of the book. We do a gem and rock pattern, of course. And then we do landscapes. And it's all my very much like joy-driven approach to watercolor. I'm all about breaking the rules. I'm all about, yeah, I'm all about breaking the rules. But in the beginning, it's the basics. Prep your space, prep your materials, how to make a palette. You can just buy a palette, but if you want to make one, I teach you how. I talk about this thing called a cup of magic. Yeah, come on in. I have a visitor. We'll see who this is. Hi. Come on out. I'm still live, but are you coming to say night? Okay, come give me love. I'm live. You want to say hi? Yeah. Come on. They're going to remember the artist from the other night. Oh. Say goodnight. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Say, my mom is the coolest. You're not going to say that? My mom is the awesomest. My Izzy's the awesomest. Okay, go to bed. It's late o'clock.
You go to bed.
You go to bed.
You go to bed. You go to bed. You
Okay,
go to
before
bed.
you say something completely embarrassing, go to bed.
No. You're not going to bed.
No, I'm not going. You smell like chocolate. Okay.
I don't know how to say that.
Dad is counting. Dad is counting. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
What happened?
Oh my gosh. Good night. What happened?
What happened?
Did I hit his toe?
Did you get your toe?
Oh crap.
Okay.
Is he okay? I mean, he's not screaming, so.
What happened, huh?
I think I like kind of rolled over his toe a little bit, but it can't be that bad. Can you tell I have 2 kids and not just one? Because I'm like, he's not screaming. We're fine. Anyway. Yeah. They teach you wet on wet, wet on dry. I'm telling you, we start at the beginning. But the way I do basics, it's kind of like different than what a lot of other people do. Do you recommend any specific watercolor brands? Yes. Where is it? So there's a brand that I recommend often. Oh my gosh, here's one. Oh yeah, here it is. Now I'm gonna just show you this one. Kuretake, Japanese watercolor. They come in this distinctive green box. You find them on Amazon. If you go to the link in profile here, go to my Amazon favorites button, you're gonna find everything I talk about. It's called Kuretake Ganzi Tambai. It's spelled Gansai, new word, Tambai. It's a mouthful. But the pans are massive. The color is rich and creamy. It's slightly opaque. And when it's dry, there is a little bit, not a shimmer, not at all a shimmer, a sheen. Very, very typical of Japanese watercolors. But like this palette costs like $18. And then there's a big 30, I have it over here, but there's stuff on top of it. 30, I think it's a 36 color palette and it's like 40 bucks. I mean, you cannot go wrong. I love them. So I recommend this palette often. I also really like, I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway. The company reached out to me recently. And they were like, oh, will you try our watercolors? And I'm like, oh, I already have, but send me more because I'll do a giveaway. So Jen Crafts, see that? It's on Amazon. And all of these people are going to be my competitors when I launch my own palette, but whatever. There's room for all of us. This Jen Crafts palette, I love it. I think it's just lovely. I did a whole review. This is how it comes. It comes with a pad of watercolor paper. I am going to be doing a giveaway of this at some point. This is a great palette. And you get, is it 48 colors? And I think it's like 20 bucks. It's cheap. Nice palette. Nice colors. So those are 2 that I recommend if you're like in the budget realm, but still want really good stuff. I use that word budget cautiously because I feel like it sounds derogatory, but I don't mean it to be, not one bit. Oh, and you know what? This one is a new one for me. It's so fun. Relatively speaking, it's more expensive because it's $20 and you only get, what is this, 18 colors? But it's just cute. And the colors are great. It's from Target and it's this new Mondo Llama. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's like really colorful packaging. It comes in like a paper sleeve, but it's just adorable because it's a wooden box in this cute little mixing tin. The brushes it comes with are crap, but you know, it is what it is. Get your Art for Joy's Sake brush, you'll be fine. And the pigments are awesome. They're really nice. Very rich, very colorful, sheer. Because you have to watch out. A lot of these like budget Amazon watercolor brands are more opaque and they're more like wash than anything. So when I find a brand that's really affordable that has sheer color, I get pretty happy. And then, you know what, this one too. This is going to be my biggest competitor. They've got like 5,000 4-star reviews. I mean, they're going to be hard to beat. I don't think I have to beat them. I mean, but nice set, cute tin, but let me, full disclosure, this interior, I can't get it out. It's plastic. This interior tray is plastic, and these are like quarter pans or maybe third pan. So like a half pan is, let me show you. A half pan is this size. So it's like 3/8 of an inch tall, you know, 7/8 of an inch wide. You can kind of see the size. These little buggers, they're very deceptive. They are not deep at all, and you go through this pigment fast. I've only painted with this 3 times, and you can see all the indentations. So I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just being honest. Just want full disclosure. Somebody got mad at me when I reviewed this palette. They really liked the palette, and honestly, the colors are lovely. Oh my gosh, okay. Remember I said the brushes in this set are crap? It just fell apart. Yeah. Is that one gonna fall apart too? Ugh, terrible. Terrible! Anyway. So, but the colors are lovely. I'm not gonna take that away from them. Winsor & Newton. Great, great question. Okay. Winsor & Newton is my first love, the professional series. I am not a fan of Cotman. I have very strong opinions about Cotman. It's their student grade. It's not worth wasting. I don't want to upset anybody. But if you have it, okay, let me say this. If you have Cotman already, it's fine quality. Keep painting with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you haven't bought anything yet, I would not recommend Cotman. Okay, I hope that helped. The professional series Winsor & Newton is my first love. Classic, clean. Nothing at all that is called watercolor but resembles gouache. There's a lot of that out there, like those Art Philosophy. You know what I'm talking about. Those Art Philosophy paints, and they say watercolors on them, but oh my heavens to Betsy, they are gouache. They're totally gouache. I have mine here. Winsor & Newton, fantastic. Professional series. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Now, Daniel Smith is my ultimate favorite because I feel like Winsor & Newton, in comparison to Daniel Smith, is a one-trick pony. All their pigments are sheer. They don't have a lot of like unpredictable personalities. They're very predictable. Really beautiful color range. Like they have Opera Rose. I mean, any brand that has a fluorescent pink in my book, but they're very predictable. Daniel Smith pigments, however, a lot of personality. Some of their pigments are like 2 or 3 tones when they dry, like crazy stuff going on. So like, okay, this is Art Philosophy. I actually like painting with this, but they need to stop calling these watercolors. They are gouache. They look like gouache. They act like gouache. They are gouache. The Cotman, the Winsor & Newton Professional Series tubes are, if you've bought them in the last few years, they're silver with a little strip of color in the middle. That's how you know. These are good questions, friends. I don't know what I'm going to title this when I upload this live to YouTube because we've talked about so much. Hi. Oh, hi, my favorite painter. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Hi. But again, let me clarify. I feel like I got really sassy and kind of snarky about Cotman. I would just rather, if you have Cotman, I would say like add a couple of the professional series like the Opera Rose and like a Naples Yellow and like a Cobalt Turquoise Light to your Cotmans and you're going to be golden. But if, you know, yeah. I guess let's just say if I had $20 to spend, I would not spend it on Cotman. But if somebody gave me Cotman to paint with, I'd be grateful. Because there's nothing wrong with them. You've missed so much. I'm not gonna lie, you've missed a lot tonight. I did a live unboxing of the brushes. You'll have to watch it on replay. I'm probably going to put this one on YouTube. So my YouTube channel, if you don't know, I have a YouTube channel with long form content. So for all of you who feel like TikTok's a little bit of a teaser, follow me on YouTube, subscribe. I upload every Tuesday at noon. There is a new like demo video, instructional video. I'm going to address this paint crack thing. Not what you think. And then every Saturday at noon, I upload a replay of a live from TikTok. So twice a week I upload. I did just relaunch the channel, so I've only been consistently doing this schedule for like almost a month. But I have a video editor now, so I'm on a roll. I'm gonna be consistent. Okay, so you say my paint is cracked, so I think they're not so good. Not true. Okay. Actually, the paints that you buy from Amazon, now, I don't know the like deep science behind this. Hold on. Amazon set. Mailing. Not cracked. Hold your horses. GenCraft. Another big Amazon. Not cracked. 1995. 20-something. Stay with me. Art Philosophy, hella popular. Not cracked, $15. I'm gonna do one more. Stick with me, stick with me, stick with me. Oh, this is a good one. Crayolas, $6.99. Not cracked. Okay. This is where things gonna get interesting. Yeah, not that one. Okay. This is case for making. This palette cost me over $500 when it was all said and done. You start to see some cracking, some imperfections. Handmade watercolors. Crazy expensive, super high quality. They crack a little. I got more. I got more. These are my handmade watercolors. Cracked. This is that Mamieri blue, that Italian, expensive Italian watercolors. Cracked. Okay, so the cracking happened. That was fun. I'm being super dramatic, which I'm really good at. Jasper Stardust. Not cheap. Holy cracked. Some of you might have heard of this other brand that I'm about to pull out. I just had it. Where'd it go? Whatever. You get the point. So handmade watercolors, higher quality watercolors, as the air hits them, as they dry, when they're out of the tube. You know, handmade watercolors were never in a tube. Obviously, they're mold and then they're dropped into a pan layer by layer by layer. And as the air hits them, shrinkage, cracking. Totally natural. Much more indicative of a quality watercolor than not. Which I know feels kind of like an oxymoron. You would think that the high quality watercolors would be perfect and never crack. No. If you make your own palettes like I do and you know, make your own half pans, you basically take the paint from the tube to a half pan where there's air hitting it. Crack, crack, crackety crack. Just happens. So if your paints are cracked, I'm guessing they're better quality. I gotta get magnets. This set is like a hot mess. Anyway, so that was a really long, dramatic way to answer the question. Yeah, you're good. LOL, love this. Artist Loft. Oh, so Artist Loft is more of a student grade. I'm surprised those are cracking for you. Are you in a more of it like a desert climate? I have Artist Loft somewhere. I can't find it. I'm surprised Artist Loft is cracking for you. But they are, you know, they're probably cracking. They have a lot of additives. A ton. But Artist Loft is just fine. Spray the crap out of them with fresh water before you paint. Let them sit for 30, 40 seconds. And they'll be nice and syrupy and lovely to paint with. Any other questions? Y'all are still here, so let's just hang out. It's fine. Oh, how did I? Okay, hi. You're welcome. Oh, right by the ocean. You are so fun. Oh, you live in Nova Scotia. I love the ocean. But my idea of ocean is like Jersey Shore. That's different. I want to know about the right brushes. Okay. Art party August 7th. July 27th. Art party. Brushes I recommend. I'm going to give you biased and unbiased. Bear with me. I got to put these away because I started out this live cleaning up this whole table and now I just messed it all up. Okay. Biased opinion. I am launching my own set of brushes on Amazon in the next 3 or so weeks. This is my set. It comes in a little canvas bag. And the reason it's biased because I designed them and obviously my name are on them and I want people to buy them. But the reason that these brushes are awesome is because I'm an artist of like my whole life. So over 35 years. And I designed what I believe to be the quintessential watercolor brush set. Everything you need. No fluff. And just all awesome. So these are talcum bristles, which are a nylon synthetic. I prefer synthetic. I didn't choose synthetic for my brushes because it's cheap. It is cheaper, which is a bonus for you and for me. I chose talcum because they hold water beautifully. They retain their shape. They take a beating like you wouldn't believe. I use these for acrylic as well as watercolor. They bounce. They have a lovely spring to them when you use them. And I love that. So this is my biased recommendation. Oh, my book comes out on the 27th, but the painting parties to celebrate the book are on the 27th. The free, if you pre-order the book and you send me your receipt via email, hello@christyrice.com, the the free Zoom classes on August 30th. So an unbiased opinion, meaning someone else's brand of watercolor brushes. I love Rosemary and Co. They are, you buy them from, I think they're in the UK somewhere. Is it London? I don't know. They're more expensive. This brush set is 6 brushes for $32. A Rosemary and Co. brush for 1 is like $17. Love Rosemary and Co. Something that you can get easily that's really affordable is Winsor & Newton's University series. They have a red handle. That is what we use in our studio almost exclusively, except for, of course, art brushes. We do use those in the studio. Let me see if I have one here. University series is crazy cheap, but really nice, and they last. I do not have one here. But in my art studio, that's what we use for wedding invitation painting. Yeah, I'm surprised I don't have one here. I know who you're talking about. I've never painted with her brushes. Did they? So I'm just curious. You don't have to tell me, but you said they're cheaply made. What were bristles falling out? What made them feel cheap? I'm curious. I'm totally getting yours. I do. I know exactly who you're talking about because her stuff is in Michael's and I've always been jealous. But her aesthetic is not my aesthetic. I've never used any of her. I know she's got like stamps and all sorts of stuff, fairy stuff, and it's just not my aesthetic, so I've never used it. Nothing wrong with it. The bristles were plastic. These are nylon. I mean, they are synthetic, so I guess nylon, I mean, I'll show you. When you get these brushes, friends, there's starch in them, so don't panic. You got to get them wet, get rid of the starch, and then they're nice and soft. I almost feel like I may put a sticker on. I may add a sticker because I feel like people are going to panic when they see that. So mine are nylon, but look how soft they are. See that? Not easy to paint with. It was so sad. I think I'm going to go buy some. Are her initials JD? I don't want to just like call her out. See that? See how soft they are? They're so soft. Okay, 100% different. Okay. She's not one that I looked at. Yeah, okay. Because I didn't know she was making brushes, but oh, she has the watercolor brush pens. Those have plastic bristles. I am not a fan. I'm positive that my hands are broken. What? Okay, I need more information. Yeah. Oh, I see your previous comment. I have been learning for about a month. I'm positive my hands are broken. I have those brush pens and they are meh. Yeah. Brush pens in general are meh. Not a huge fan. So, I feel like I need to turn your comments into a TikTok. I'm positive that my hands are broken. I'm laughing with you in camaraderie, nothing more or less, because I sometimes feel that way. That is completely normal and just incredibly endearing because like I want to turn that into a meme. Like, you know that TikTok, like turning your comments into inspirational memes? Yeah. Some days I feel like I've drank too much caffeine and my hands are shaking. Sometimes I feel like my hands are fatigued and I'm like, I can't get a good grip. It's insane. And I felt that way in my 20s as well as my 40s. So it's not my age. There's just, you know, painting is physical. It's crazy mental, but it's also physical. And some days your hands just don't work. And some days your hand-eye coordination is completely in the garbage. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. I try to make art and it's always a disaster. What kind of art have you been making? I'm just curious. Tell me. Just give Christy the permission to do it. To do what? What do I need permission to do? Tell me. But yeah, tell me what kind of art you've been making, what's been frustrating you. Okay, so you've been doing watercolor. What subject matter? This is fun. I'm going to walk you right out of this rut. Come on. What subject matter? Flowers. Take down, my hands are broken. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, I didn't paint today, which is strange. So tomorrow, I'm going to be a holy hot mess. You look at YouTube videos. Okay. Are they stressing you out? Here would be my suggestion. I have to do the TikTok. And you try to copy them. Okay. I hear you. This is what I want you to do. I want you to, whenever you're starting to feel like you're creating a disaster, number one, I want you to stop working on that painting, because presumably you are working from a YouTube tutorial and it is stressing you out because your painting isn't looking exactly like someone else's. And I want to say this to you. I said this recently in an Instagram post and I brought it over here and posted it last night. Whether or not what you paint on the page, whether or not it looks like whoever you've been inspired by, does not matter. That your success is not reliant on your successful copy of someone else's work. I'm not saying you shouldn't copy. Copying is a valuable tool, but if it's causing you stress, take another path for a little while. So here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to look, the next time you sit down to paint, and I hope I don't sound bossy, I'm just really passionate about this. The next time you want to paint, I don't want you to watch a tutorial on YouTube. Don't watch me, don't watch anybody. I want you to literally put some splotches of watercolor on a piece of paper, like big puddles, okay? So like, there's a little tiny bit of watercolor paper I have. Use something bigger. Puddle, 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 puddle across the top. Leave everything else white, blank, okay? I want you to take a ruler, something rigid. And you have to lay it flat to do this, right? There's a TikTok about this. I do this a couple times on TikTok. So make puddles, 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 flat, and then scrape. Scrape down the page. Yes, it's abstract. It's called scrape painting, but it is the coolest, best way to shake yourself out of this, like, I suck, everything looks like a disaster, I'm trying to copy someone else who's been painting, who knows, 15 years. And yeah, of course you're gonna get frustrated. So do something completely different. You know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm so passionate about this. And YouTube can be such a stressful, stinking place. Such a stressful place. Bah! Oh my gosh. I'm like spastic. Okay. Ready? Oh my gosh. I don't even know what I'm going to title this when I upload this. Yes. Absolutely. All right. I am like dirty water. It is what it is. I'm making puddle. Puddle. Grab water. Grab more water, get a spray bottle. I don't care. Where's my spray bottle? Make a little spray puddle. Add more color to it. Puddle. Oh yeah, now we're rolling. You see that? Okay. Now next door, make another puddle. You can touch or not. I'm touching. Puddle. Puddle. Work fast because you want your puddles to remain puddles before you do the scraping. Another puddle. I mean, you gotta make this juicy. Gotta make this juicy. Okay? Gonna do one more puddle. This is a good color. Is this a good color? I don't know. No, that's not a good color. Let's do a fluorescent. Oh, yeah. Underneath puddle. Let them blend together. Okay, you ready? You ready? I've never done it with this roller. I hope it works. You ready for the scrape? Scrape it down. Scrape it down. Okay. It's nothing, but it's freaking cool. And you did it, and it doesn't look like anybody else's anything. And it's fantastic. Oh, why is it scary? What? No. What's happening? What? Don't be scared. Water. Water's your friend. Watercolor makes this world go round. Water in watercolor make... Hi. Am I freaking you out? Let's just keep going. When you're getting stressed, let freaking loose. Don't tighten up more. Don't try it again. Don't try to copy that YouTuber again. Go crazy. Loosen up. Doing this after you've had a stressful painting session where you feel like crap and you feel like you failed, this is like an artistic shot of tequila. I know. I'm nuts. But this feels good. I didn't paint today. And this feels freaking awesome. I'm so glad you did too. Just do this. If you're afraid of all that water, push yourself to just face the fear. You want to see something else? I'm going to freak you guys right the heck out. See all this water? That's gorgeous. It's literally dripping. It's literally dripping, but it's okay. I don't get stressed. I just like to try new things. Okay, good. I'm glad you're not getting stressed. I'm sorry. Does it feel like I'm yelling at you? I hope it doesn't. I'm glad you're not getting stressed, but you feel like you said you're frustrated because you're trying to emulate what the YouTuber's doing and you can't, and it's not feeling successful. So just try something crazy. Don't try to control the water. The best thing you can do, like look how that's drying. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. And you know what you can do with this after? You can sketch over it. Let it dry and then maybe I'll do some of that. I get to do water putters. Water putters. Ah! I can't control the water. Yeah, I know. So try something crazy. Go in the complete opposite direction. When you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling unsuccessful, veer left, veer right. Don't keep going straight towards what you've been doing. I could paint over that now, yeah. I do have to wait until it dries to do what I'm thinking of doing. Try painting with a toddler. They use tons of water and love to watch the pigments dance. I want to say something about this because there's something to that. Paint with a child and you will literally in front of you see what painting without fear looks like. Because children do not, the younger they are even especially, they do not have that fear instilled in them. And they paint totally different. Did you see what I did? I like totally splashed my new brush set. I'm the one who gets stressed. Okay, so are you gonna try this? Try this. Do you see what I did? That TikTok I posted tonight, I painted on the back of it. Ruined it. For the sake of freeing myself and loosening up. So I didn't ruin anything. I think children are born with all the wisdom and we tend to lose it as we grow older. That wisdom, that fearlessness, it's literally torn out of us year after year after year. Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm trying to find my little pencil. So we can sketch. It's still damp. That's okay. I'll lift this up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just doing like leafy, viney, loosey-goosey. It feels good. Try not to think about what you'll use this for. Oh, is this frameable? Oh, is this worthy? I mean, heck yeah, you can turn this into like a card for somebody after the fact, but you don't have to think about that all the time. You just don't. This is art for art's sake. This is doing it for the process. I feel like you and I could just be besties. That inspired to help. Hold on, I want to go back. I just like to try new things. I'm trying to, and making sure I'm seeing all your comments here. To help an art teacher, she was teaching watercolor. That inspired me to learn. I love it. Never lose that. Never lose that initial moment of spark. That you can always go back to. That is a memory that will continue to propel you and give you momentum when you aren't feeling that fantastic in your journey. Always remember that initial spark. Who it was, how they did it, how they made you feel. You can always go back to that when you're feeling frustrated. So paint scrape, let it dry a little, doesn't have to dry all the way. Sketch over it, paint over it. If sketching stresses you out, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Paint over it. Make a freaking mess. I love showing her my paintings and ask for a grade. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. You could go back in and I will lift this up. I normally, when I'm painting live, you know, I'm top down, but look how fun. It's just silly. Fun. I'm filling in with violet. My leaves are violet. Yes. Why not? There's a little bit of that nifty turquoise on there. Look at this. Hello, friends. Hello, pretty. Hello, goofy. Whatever. This is fantastic. You know what I like in it too? Something happens in us when we get on this art journey. Like we feel like we're always like meant to sit down and start painting and finish the painting and have it be perfect and have it be this, like, for it to be valuable, it has to be like this beautifully buttoned up experience. And at the end of it, you should have something that you always feel perfectly proud of. I use exercise as a metaphor a lot, which is still like shocking to me. I've been on this health journey, so I'm sorry that I use exercise as a metaphor. I hope it's not annoying, but literally, like when you go for a walk, you have nothing to physically show for it right in that moment. Now, maybe after like 20 walks, you have something physical to show for it, but do you know what I mean? Like you go for a walk, you go because as you're walking, blood is pumping, you're feeling better, you're taking deep breaths, and for all intents and purposes, unless it's like 100 degrees out, you feel better. You feel good, right? But there's like when you're done and you come home and you sit down and you have a drink of water, like there's nothing to show for it right away. That's what painting like this is for. That's what painting in general is for. You have to always remind yourself that you're doing the process. the stress relief, the joy, that feeling of taking a deep breath just because you put some color on the page. Keep reminding yourself of that. It's important. It's important. My paper is still damp, but I'm not getting like any kind of like crazy bleeding, which is nice. I'm getting these soft blends, which I think is super pretty. I have been trying to make transparent flowers. It takes so much patience. So super realistic ones with it's like layer after layer after layer. Is that what you're talking about? The petals are so beautiful. If that's what you're talking about, I do paint in that style. It's very tedious because you're adding all these like layers of shadows and knowing where to put them. But yeah, when you get into a groove, and it's going to take you a while. I mean, most people, it's going to take you a while to build up that confidence in that kind of painting. But once you do, you'll get to a point where it becomes very cathartic to paint that way. Now, again, I'm not a realist, but this is a painting I started during peony season using that kind of technique. And you can see like this is like 5 or 6 layers, and I just kept layering shadows and defining the shape of the flowers over and over and over. So it's tedious. Mine are pretty basic. So biceps flex. You don't want me flexing my biceps. Y'all, I've lost almost 100 pounds in the last like 18 months. So I got a lot of skin hanging. No, don't want to see that. No apologies. We need to own our journeys and stop being sorry that we weren't enough. Yes, the petals are so beautiful. It takes so much patience. Yes. I love it. Yeah. It's just been, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, but I feel better than I've ever felt. And I feel like I'm aging in reverse. I'm not boasting, but y'all know that I'm a big proponent of being kind to yourself and speaking truth into yourself, not waiting for other people to do it. What kind of paper? I love how you really know how to lift and inspire those of us who are just learning. Well, I'm glad that you feel that I am. That makes my heart happy. That makes me feel like I'm doing exactly what God put me here to do. So thank you. What kind of paper is best for watercolor? So you want, at the very least, like if you want to go out and paint tomorrow, if you have that urge in you, I first want you to say, don't worry too much exactly about what you're buying. Just go to a store. I don't even care if you go, Walmart has stuff. Okay. You want paper that says watercolor on it. Now, not all papers that say watercolor are created equal, but at the very least, I'd rather you go out tomorrow and buy something that's decent and actually start painting tomorrow than worrying about getting what's perfect and start painting in 2 weeks. So I'm going to say that first. Watercolor paper has a higher cotton content. The best watercolor papers are 100% cotton, but they're crazy expensive. You don't need to go there. I got a dagger brush this week. I thought it would make leaves easier, but it's more difficult then. Okay. Not all daggers are created equal. There is a learning curve. And I have a question. Are you left or right-handed? While you're answering that, if your dagger bristles are any longer than like 5/8 of an inch, it's going to be more difficult to work with. It's going to be more of an unruly brush, if that makes sense. If the bristles do not spring like this, it's going to be a more unruly experience. A Neptune. Yeah. Neptunes are softer and a little bit longer. So I believe Neptune brushes from memory are also a hybrid of synthetic and natural fibers, which make them softer. They don't retain their shape. They are lovely to paint with, but major learning curve. So that's why I like a fully synthetic, shorter bristled dagger. A right-handed, cool, because when you're left-handed with a dagger, there's like an extra twist that you need to do that makes things easier, but you should be good. I'll say it. Get Christy's dagger brush. It's infinitely better than anything I've ever used. Okay, I'm taking a screenshot of that. Y'all know that I take screenshots when you say beautiful things. Synthetic squirrel. Yeah, okay. So it's not a hybrid, but it's acting like a natural bristle. So my guess without, I might have a Neptune here. Hold on. But without right now having it in my hand, my guess is that it's super soft, and that is probably driving you insane and making life a little harder. I don't have one, I don't think. I know I have it somewhere. Like, I feel like I own all the things. This is a nice brand too. Everybody loves it, but they're really expensive, the black velvets. Because somebody was asking about brushes. Yes. I have Neptune. Oh, shoot. Okay. Here's the Neptune dry. Does it look like this? It's a beautiful brush, but my hands are broken. Screenshot! I love it. I love, part of being kind to yourself is being able to laugh at yourself. So I can tell you have a sense of humor. I love it. Okay, so this is great. This brush is not a cheap brush. I take good care of my brushes. The ferrule is already loose, and I've only, like, I can twist it. This is supposed to be super high quality brush. Anyway, here's more delicate. So it's a smaller size, but it's about this long, right? I'm gonna wet it so you can see kind of the shape that you're painting with. But I wanna talk to you about the differences, not just to you, to everyone. I'm not like talking at you. Okay. See how much longer it is? Makes it so much more of a learning curve to use. So it's like, imagine like trying to do everything without bending your wrist, with only bending your elbow. That's a pretty good description of the learning curve. Okay, let's look at another thing. This is mine. See the spring? This is the Neptune. So the minute you put pressure on it, it does not bounce back into shape, which some people love, and that's how they've been trained. And some people who've been trained on this brush would not like my brush. But I developed my brush for beginners, and it makes the learning curve not as steep. So let me show you this again, because you have to reshape a squirrel. I know this is synthetic squirrel, but it's acting like real squirrel hair. So again, see that? I can't. Maybe my elbow is broken. You know what sucks is that when I rebroadcast this onto YouTube, they can't see the comments. So friends who are watching this on replay, we have a comedian in the house. Now she's saying, LOL, maybe my elbow is broken. Can't even. Floppy things are not the greatest. You're like a little spring. And yours like a little spring and have a little heart. I love it. I do use acrylics. Okay. So this was great to talk about these differences. Really great. Kind of makes me think, I'm working on my photos for my brush for Amazon. I kind of feel like I should show this. Like I should show like a brush, like obviously I can't call out the Neptune, but you know, to show that my brushes hold their shape and make painting for beginners infinitely easier, something like that. Anyway, yes, I use a lot of gesso, which is an acrylic mixed with watercolor, especially when I'm painting on black paper or craft paper. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my voice. Excuse me. The Beam paints. Hold the phone. I think they sold out of this. So this is the Love You palette from Beam. The last I checked, they only had the Love palette. I think this might have sold out because I linked to, when I posted the live where I used these, or I think there was a short, I don't know what it was. I went to link to the specific palette and I just linked to their palette collection because I couldn't find this one again. So they probably have an option to sign up for notifications when it comes back in stock. Haha, I'm a teacher. Okay. What the heck time is it? I feel like I've been drinking caffeine and I haven't. This has been so fun. I hope my spastic personality isn't overwhelming. I'm just really passionate about watercolor. You know what? Speaking of Beam, squirrel. Cannot. I'm like all over the place tonight. So this Beam Love You palette comes with some shimmers, which I don't typically use shimmers because I scan and reproduce a lot of my artwork for different things, and shimmers really affect the scanning process. But you know, a little shimmer never hurt anybody, especially when we're just making art for art's sake, right? You gotta see this. It's so pretty. I like Beam's shimmers because they're not like in your face. All right, can you see that? Pretty. That's not just the water. That's some mica in there, shimmering its butt off. Oh my God, is it seriously 2 o'clock in the morning? I didn't eat dinner. Whoops. Do you use gesso with your watercolors? I do. I do. I have little bowls like this. This one's about ready to get soaked, so I can release all of this. And I put the gesso in, and I put a little watercolor and mix, and so I don't contaminate my watercolor palette. And yeah. Okay, here's some more Beam shimmer. I actually didn't know. I didn't pay close enough attention when I ordered this palette. I didn't know there were shimmers in it. And I feel like if I had known, I probably wouldn't have bought this one. But I'm actually kind of glad that I missed that because I feel like I discount shimmer watercolors too quickly. Look at that. Pretty. Oh, it's 1 a.m. in Pennsylvania. Okay, thank God. I almost panicked. Aren't they pretty? So pretty. See, I'm turning this, what began as like a reset, this kind of scrape painting was like a mental reset. When you're getting frustrated, you just push the frustration painting to the side and do a scrape painting, and then come back in and sketch, and just, it's like a yoga session with watercolor and without the yoga. So gesso, basically you're tinting. Like what I'm describing is like tinting. Let me see if I can find an example for you. Like tinting gesso with watercolor. So you're like tinting the gesso. Yeah, here we go. So I painted this. I think that I did this on a live. And this is all done with just gesso and watercolors. p.m., right? And I painted this with my brush set. So, yeah. 10 p.m. in California, yeah. Ooh, here's some gold. I'm using this. A little bit of texture, but it's not like, yeah, there's especially like these thin lines. There's some texture. Yeah, there's definitely some texture. I don't know if you can see that. Thank you. Wait. Yeah. Gold. Gold. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, I like the beam shimmers. They're not in your face. They're just calm and collected shimmers. See that? I've only used gesso to paint over a paper so that I could paint. Yes, so makes sense. Gesso is traditionally a primer. We use it to prime. You could prime watercolor paper with it if you want to paint acrylic on watercolor paper. I've never been a big primer though, because you can just paint acrylic right on watercolor paper. But you prime canvas, like raw canvas with it. That's what it's traditionally for. And it has like a lighter body and a more fluid body to it. So it's thinner. So it kind of spreads nicely. But I love that because I don't have to like take acrylic and add water to it to get the consistency. It's just like in a big bottle ready for me to go. We started years ago using it in our studio with our wedding invitations because a lot of our couples we do hand painted details on our wedding invitations and our couples love texture. And so we started adding gesso to like shimmer inks and watercolors to give them some body so that when they dried on the page, there was texture. My oldest is leaving for college, so I love having time to learn watercolor. I love that you love having time. It's fantastic. I do hope you check me out on YouTube. I'm not for everyone. I get that. I'm not blind to that. But I do consider myself to be a safe space on YouTube for those who have expressed feelings similar to the ones you've expressed here today, where you, to no fault of the other YouTubers, but you're watching them and you're trying to emulate them and getting frustrated. A little dose of Christy Rice can go a long way in that journey. Yeah, so I'm not a replacement for other YouTubers. I'm kind of like a nice little shot, little add-on, a little infusion, if you will. You are a safe space. Thank you. I do teach on YouTube. So my YouTube journey is crazy. I started YouTube, I don't even remember when, years ago, maybe 13, 14. And my channel grew very quickly. I gained like 16,000 subscribers within a few months. Life got super crazy. I adopted children. My wedding business was growing and I abandoned the channel. Now, luckily, my content was what they call evergreen. And so my content is not trendy, and it continued to, I continued to amass followers and people comment, and it kept getting seen. So this year I started coming back to YouTube and posting videos sporadically. And then I relaunched the channel officially almost a month ago. And now I have a consistent upload schedule, and I've gone all back in on YouTube because it's a beautiful place. So you are the pizzazz to the Shazam. Oh my God, I gotta screenshot that. And the Bob Ross of watercolor. Yeah, I love that. I think that's fun. Thank you. I do sell watercolors. Yeah. Yeah, so teach on YouTube. Just search Christy Rice on YouTube. You'll find me. Yep, I have my own line of handmade watercolors. This is not pretty. This is like my working palette. There's like doubles and triples of colors in here. It's a 12 color palette. all handmade with honey, glycerin, clove oil to keep things from molding over. And they're really rich, pigmented. I'm very inspired by Daniel Smith and kind of the character of the color and how it separates as it dries and granulates. So my colors are full of personality. It's called the Wonder Filled Palette. It is available as a full palette or individually. And these two colors are people's favorites. Tips for beginners. ChristyRice.com. My link in profile here is going to take you to like a whole bunch of buttons. And there's a button for, I think, Shop Christy's Favorites. Or just go to ChristyRice.com or go to artforjoysake.com. That's a redirect. You'll find me. Yes, I am on Instagram, same name, Christy the Painter. So find me there. I do some overlap content, but for the month of July, I've been posting exclusive tutorials and inspirational stuff there every day in celebration of World Watercolor Month. Now, I've been hanging with you all for a long time today, so I actually missed posting, but I'll still post. I'll double up tomorrow. Okay, tips for beginners. Art perfectionism is real. Oh, friend. Tips for beginners. Set your expectations when you go into this, knowing that you're going to make a lot of ugly often in the beginning, and to go easier on yourself. Starting now with decent supplies is better than starting in 3 weeks with better supplies. Just start. Go to Walmart tomorrow, get some shiz, and start. Exercises in the beginning of like paint scraping, like I did earlier, just splotch some color on the page and scrape. Like literally play in the beginning of your journey is so important, rather than trying to go right into like a realism tutorial from a YouTuber. Like just play. I have a couple posts here where I talk about like what to paint when you don't know what to paint. What to paint when you're a beginner. Paint with 2 hands. Fill up the brushes with color and just go crazy. Play. Play as a beginner is underrated and not talked about enough. Play. Plan for disaster. Plan to make a freaking mess. Water control is a real issue. Yeah. So play can help with that as well. Here's why. When you are just throwing paint and water on a page without any care for what actually happens, you learn a whole lot. When you are filling a brush with a lot of water and a lot of color and you're just brush stroking it on a piece of paper until it runs out dry, you've learned in that brushing from completely sopping wet to dry, you've learned the beautiful spectrum of what you can do with a wet brush to a dry brush. So play teaches you so much. Even Christy has a pile of unfinished business. Yeah, I love knowing it was okay to have unfinished work. I am surrounded by unfinished work, friends. Surrounded. I did a post here and I said something to the effect of, there's this misconception that the paintings that you begin always have to have a middle and an end. Just paint beginnings. Don't worry about finished paintings. Don't worry about that for a while. And I understand, it's easy for me to say that because I'm, a lifetime into this. But hear me. Paint for beginnings. Paint beginnings. Don't worry about the middle. Don't worry about the end. Don't worry about that crazy realistic strawberry that everybody wants to paint that literally looks like a photograph. Don't do that for a couple of years because you're going to drive yourself freaking crazy. I don't even think I could paint that strawberry. Play. So this is interesting. I do not tape my paper, but that's just a personal preference. But taping can really be valuable for those, like, it doesn't bother me that my paper is rippled here and I'm just loosey-goosey painting with it. But some people really like the security and the feeling of it being taped down. And if there's other reasons that you like taping down, please share them. But I can't speak a lot to taping because I don't do it. So yeah, water control, I need to do a YouTube on this. You're going, the art journey, water is your lifeblood with watercolor, and you will dance and stumble and fall and fly with your water control for the rest of your life. It'll be a constant ebb and flow of feeling mastery and folly. So it's okay. My paper bends when I'm painting. Yeah, I'm in Eastern time zone, so it's late o'clock. But I'm a night owl. I have 2 kids and I'm still a night owl. I thought adopting the children would correct that. No. Now he's going to kindergarten. Maybe that'll help. I don't know, but I'll probably just make my husband walk him to the bus. I can't believe there's so many people still on here. I tape on to clipboards so that I can still move around, and I have multi-clipboards going at once. Love that. I do some clipping. When I went to Iceland, I took foam core because at that time I was working, I had a bunch of paper that wasn't in a block. I had a bunch of like big elephant sheets of paper that I kind of tore down to size, and I wanted to use it up, but I needed something rigid. So I got these cute rose gold clips and foam core, and I clipped my paper to a piece of foam core, and then I had another piece of foam core that I clipped all of my extra pages to, and I just kept transferring them as I painted. Yeah, you don't need a block. There was a time, so I always used Arches in my early days. That's what my art teacher used, and it was all Arches blocks. Loved them. Then sometime in my mid to late 20s, I felt like Arches changed their block formulation. I've talked to other artists about this who agree with me. So then I transitioned to elephant sheets of Arches paper, which I felt like were still the old formula, cut them down to size. I am back to blocks now. I feel like they may have listened and gone back to their old formula. But I also use a lot of different brands. I use Legion paper, Stonehenge. I use Academy watercolor paper. I love them all. But you don't have to use blocks. You don't like the block of Arches, yeah. Now there's a pad of Arches, very different from the block. The pad of Arches is literally like the outlet store of Arches paper. It's a different paper. Oh. Oh my gosh, Jose. What the heck? Hi. So fun. Thank you. You like the pad. Okay. All right. You know what? See, that's why I express my opinions. I tread lightly because you like the pad, and that's a beautiful thing. And just because I have had negative experiences with it only means so much. So I'm glad you like it because it's cheaper. Okay, let's see how the shimmer's looking with my crazy art for art's sake mess here. See, that's what I love about these beam pigments. The shimmers, the shimmer kind of calms down because like I said, I'm not like a glitter gal. I'm not like a shimmer gal. But their shimmer and glitter, it's almost like, you know, when you are in like a creek and the water is like going over the rocks, right? There's like that natural like shimmer that happens when the light is hitting the water and then hitting the rocks. Do I sound insane? That's what I love when it comes to shimmer. That kind of feel, like a glisten. Don't worry about the block. Your hands are broken. I use cheap paper for practice and drills. Nothing wrong with that. But I do want to say this to you, friend. It sounds like you use cheap paper for practice and drill, so I'm assuming you do have some good paper. So just make sure you're using that good paper. You deserve it. I can't stop laughing about this. My hands are broken. I think I'm going to do a TikTok tomorrow. Memes from just this live. I can't. You people are cracking me up. Sorry, that was mean. You people, that's terrible. Goodness, what am I in 1992? Somebody famous said something like, in insanity, there is genius. Oh, yeah, I'm insane. I know. My husband calls me a sociopath. I've told you that. And I know many of you have told me, Christy, tell your husband to stop calling you sociopath. He says it with, I feel like he thinks it's endearing because, like, I'll leave the house and not take my wallet. Like, that's just because I'm an artist and a business owner of 2 different brands. Like, I cannot keep my head on straight. But he likes to call me a sociopath. I think he thinks he's being cute. I'm you people. I love it when my wedding industry friends pop onto these lives. Because friends, I don't know if you know, but I have 2 accounts. So if you're curious about my wedding brand, I've been doing what I do there for 19 years. I mean, obviously I haven't been on TikTok for 19 years, but I've been... we've been creating bespoke wedding invitations for 19 years, actually. And I said hi to Jose. Jose is like world famous photographer, and it was fun to see him pop on. We've had some weddings together. So my other account is The Momentals. So it's the word moment with an ALS on the end. So The Momentals. I get pretty spicy over there. I have a lot of opinions about the wedding industry. And luxury weddings and what does luxury mean and all the stuff. So, but if you want, someone asked earlier about my team. If you want to see the work of my team, head over there and take a looky-loo. I lost my wallet for 2 weeks. Everyone was appalled by that. Okay, I'm going to share a story. I do not have a functioning check card that I can get money out of an ATM from. I have not had one for over a decade because I have to call my bank and get a new PIN because I forgot my PIN. Yeah, I am a sociopath. And apparently, like, I don't care enough to call and get the new PIN. I show my husband my paintings. He will always say he likes them. Okay, I love this. We need that. We all need that person in our lives. That's our cheerleader, right? And it's like there's value in knowing you have that person in your life that either A, they don't know enough to know that your painting has some hiccups, and B, they love you that much and they're just going to cheer for you no matter what you do. We all need that in our lives, right? But he won't guess about what's on the paper. Smart man. Smart man. Oh, I have a secret ATM cards. I just bought a... Wait, what? You just bought a goat? How are you going to receive the goat from across the country? It's getting late. You know, goats are lovely animals. They eat everything. So, like, they're very useful animals when you live out in the country, as I do. He says that because he knows your efforts because your hands are broken. Friends, if you're just hopping on and you're like, why are they talking about people's hands being broken? I just want to say, early on, one of our folks here on the live said something to the effect, and it just hit so perfectly, something to the effect of, I'm new in this painting journey, but I'm pretty sure my hands are broken. And it just has been a continuous thread throughout this entire live, which has gone for like almost 3 hours now. A goat is the best gift you can give someone, right? Because milk, and they can clear the land. My husband grew up with goats. Like, they eat poison ivy. Like, that's cool. That's resourceful. Sorry, but I am like losing my voice. Jose, if you're still here, how's that sweet baby boy of yours? Just remembered. I'm so happy for you. Oh God, I just love it. Oh, friends. This has been my favorite live to date. So I am going to start wrapping up, though. Couple of things. Head over to the Momentals. Check me out. Check out my wedding stuff. Creep on me over there. If you like this sass, you're going to get a lot more of it over there. Sign up for my email list if you want to be the first to know when this lovely goes live on Amazon. Oh, that's the old one. This is the right one. So if you want to be the first to know when these brushes go live on Amazon, and remember, I will not know the exact day, time, all the things. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise for me, just like it will be for you. That's just how Amazon works. And so get on the email list so you know when you know when you know. My new book is coming out next week. And we are having a big old day-long painting party across TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So you can find that schedule here on Instagram, all the things. And what else did I need to tell you? I think that's it. Friends, this has been so fun. So fun. You know, I feel, y'all know that I wear my brush and my brushes in my hair. So, you know, this is a special night. I unboxed my product. It's been sitting here. I've been too nervous to open it, but I unboxed it with you, my lovely friend. Oh, gotta get the flat brush in here. So let's just put all the brushes in the hair. Now you're like, okay, this lady's really lost her mind. This has been super fun. Follow me on YouTube as well. I'm probably gonna post this live replay this week on Saturday. This will probably be my Saturday post. So if you want to revisit any of the conversations we've had, again, if you want to do the scrape painting exercise, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. The brush crown. Thank you, friends. Wait. People know I paint, but no one ever asked to see what I've painted lately. Feeling sad. Okay. So glad. I almost missed this. I want to address this. People know I paint, but no one ever asked to see what I've painted lately. Feeling sad. First of all, I want you to go to my YouTube channel, my last video. No, second to last video. And the title is something along the lines of 3 ways to be good to yourself on this art journey. I want you to watch it. Because we cannot, I know, I want people to ask me about my brushes and my book and my family. They don't ask. My family thinks I'm nuts. You have to be the first one to congratulate yourself, to say kind things to yourself in your head and out loud. Don't rely on anybody else to make you feel good. You need to be kind to yourself first. I know it sucks that it's that way, but you gotta. So go watch that video. I want you to watch that video because I give you 3 or 4 ways, habits to start building to be kind to yourself. So I think you need to watch that. How long would shipping take for Australia? We do it through, if you order through ChristyRice.com, anything through ChristyRice.com, we do through the postal service, and it's like 10 business days, typically. Wedding invitations that we ship to Australia, we do through UPS, and customs is cleared in air, and it's 3 to 4 days. See there? I'd love to see your paintings. I bet they're lovely. If y'all are on Instagram, share. Follow each other here. Share. All right, my friends. This has been so fun. I don't want to leave, but I have to. I do have to try to get some sleep. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sharing this kind of moment in my history as an artist, as a business owner, as the watercolor obsessed crazy lady that I am. It was a good day. Thank you, Christy. You were amazing. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, friends, I am hopping off. Thank you. I see all the follows. Thank you for the follows. Thank you. Mwah. You are very welcome. I often walk around with at least a brush in my hair. Like I'll be at a restaurant and people be like, are you a painter? And I'd be like, yeah, why do you ask? And they're like, oh, the brush in your hair. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. So I feel like I should go out with this whole situation. See what people say. Anyway. All right, friends, take care. Sleep tight. Have an incredible rest of your week. I'm probably going to be a little quiet through Saturday. But we got a big week next week. We got lots of partying to do. Mark your calendars. All right, friends. Mwah. I appreciate you all so much. See you soon. Bye.